I'm going to make the sauce, which is sort of like a jammy, caramelly sauce that I put with the fish. Do you like tomato?
Not raw tomato.
No. These are going to be cooked. I've got one peeled tomato, which I have chopped. I'm adding about, I'd say 3/4 of a cup, I don't need all that, of chopped onion. Oh, smell that onion. Now, I chopped that earlier with my mighty chopper. Okay, put that together. Okay, now, this lovely clarified butter, I'm going to fry the tomatoes and onions slowly together. Then, remember the cardamom seeds? I'm putting those in, and the fenugreek seeds. Look, and they've softened. When they are just out of a jar, they're very, very hard. But if you look at that, they're soft when you actually
soak them.
Soak them. With that, I'm going to put some lovely pepper in as well for the spice. Look at that, lovely, lovely pepper, and some salt. Mix it all together and let it sort of become quite jammy. Now, the other thing, of course, to make it jammy is sugar. So I'm going to add 2 sort of soup spoons, so 1.5 tablespoons of sugar. I know. That will all caramelize with the clarified butter, and all the juices of the onion and the tomato and all the spices will just make a beautiful, beautiful sauce. Now that's bubbling away. So now I'm just going to turn the heat right down and put in a clove of garlic and a thumb-sized bit of fresh grated ginger. Now we have all that flour that was left over from putting around the fish, and there wasn't a lot. Even if there is, I'm using it straight away, so it doesn't matter. So what I've got here is the flour, and I'm going to put some of the ghee, and here we go. I'm going to put it into a bowl. This is just Lizzie's take on an Indian bread, a spiced Indian bread. Well, this is the water from the soaked cardamom. I'm going to put that in. And this is the water from the soaked fenugreek seeds. And that's all it is. It's just flour, butter, well, it's clarified butter, and water. I'm now making these into little balls, and I'm going to roll them out. Quite a copious amount of oil on the baking sheet, and I'm going to put them in the oven.
So what's the best oil to use?
In here I've used rice bran oil.
Okay.
I love rice bran oil. It has a high heat, and it's got lots and lots of plant sterols. It's very good for you.
Okay.
It's very, very good for you. Roll these out. You know, this is just plain flour, and literally it's only because you said, oh, what would you do with that flour? And I think, well, let's do something with it, you know? Life's too short not to experiment, so this is totally and utterly off the cuff that I'm making these. I'm just going to brush the top copiously as well, because that will then sort of be like semi-frying it, do you know what I mean?
So even though there's so much oil,
Yeah.
it's not that fattening.
Well, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I'm not saying that. No. Okay, yeah.
It'd be great if it wasn't.
Yeah, but it's very good for you.
Yeah.
It's very good for you. 220 for about 15 minutes. So I'm now just going to take out these Indian flatbreads. They'll be good for scooping up the sauce. So now we're going to start cooking the fish, which will take no time at all. A little bit of the clarified butter, dash of rice bran oil, and these are the basa fillets which we have put in the spiced flour. Turn this, can you see? and it's sort of jammy and beautiful. And I'm just going to soften it with about 3 tablespoons of cream. There we go. And that's going to be the sauce that I'm going to put a bed of that and then the lovely goujons on top. Now these are ready to flip over. You see, we'll just flip those over. Oh, lovely. Okay, they just want a couple of minutes on that side. So I'm going to turn them right down. Okay, and we're going to plate up. So half and half. Some with saffron colour. Some without saffron. A little bit of this beautiful, and we have a little tiny wincy bit there. Okay, yeah. And then we've got these lovely goujons that I'm just going to put on the top. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and a big one there. 3. And let's see if Kaylee will have 1 or 2.
Yeah,
I'll start with 1 for now. Then we're just going to put a little bit of the flatbread just to serve with the sauce. It's just a sort of a crunchy and a little bit. There you are, for Kaylee. There we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of pepper just around. People always like a little bit of pepper. And then just a little bit of cream just over the top.
So it's just plain cream.
Plain cream, which has gone into the sauce. Just a little bit, just to give a little bit of juice. There we go. Now I think Kaylee should come and taste now. Kaylee, are you there? So we're going to have a champagne with this, because to be absolutely honest with you, it's the only thing I've got cold. Oh! Did I make you jump?
These popping bottles.
Oh, yes, it's my favourite sound. It's my favourite sound. There's a little bit there for Vanessa. A little bit of salt. Boom, boom, boom. And now let's have a taste. So,
Yay.
we've got the lovely basa fillets, which have been cooked in a spiced flour. And then I've got a beautiful jammy sauce, which I've made with onions and a fresh tomato chopped. And I've got fenugreek and cardamom seeds in there with ginger and garlic and a little bit of sugar and a little bit of cream.
That tastes really good.
Excellent.
Yummy.
So we're just going to finish this, so do excuse us, and then we're going over to Chez Robert. So here we are, Chez Robert, with our lovely plant named after Robert Plant. Well, of course you know that, don't you? And we're with Vanessa, or AKA DJ Veeness. Yes. So how did you get into disc jockeying?
Oh, well, one thing a lot of people don't know is I was actually a wedding DJ many years ago.
Oh!
MC, DJ, did parties, and then I went to New York to the Scratch DJ Academy.
Oh, did you? You actually went to an academy?
Yeah.
Wow!
Moved to the Cayman Islands.
The
And
Cayman Islands?
yes,
Where are the Cayman Islands?
in the Caribbean.
Oh, how
The West
wonderful.
Indies.
Oh, wonderful.
And played a little bit there, and then
Is that where you got your reggae sort of...
mum
No.
and dad were the reggae influence from young,
Oh,
believe
really?
it or not.
Oh, my God. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Oh, Helene and Calvin.
Yes,
Oh, how wonderful.
but especially dad likes to take the credit for that.
Oh, does
so.
it? Oh. So when you came to Perth, then you just started to be a DJ again?
No, because I had Kalia and had a family, everything was put on the back burner.
Oh, right.
But then the reggae DJ competition came up, and I thought, oh, this will be a good opportunity to come on the scene in Perth
Yes.
and to give it a go.
Is this your first year that you've competed?
Yes.
So the first year that Vanessa has competed. So what does that entail?
So basically, they had a series of different rounds and battles.
Yeah.
So you had your heats, quarterfinals, semi-finals and then the grand final. And so I succeeded.
And how long was that?
Over 2 months.
2 months of competitions?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was the only female in the whole competition, and also the only female or competitor using vinyl as well. So.
Oh wow! What do they use then?
CDs and some people use computers.
Oh my goodness gracious me! So you actually did the scratch?
With vinyl, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That is that's an art. No wonder she won.
I think so.
No wonder she won. Now, what are you doing now? So do you go on the radio at all?
Yes, occasionally I present on RTR, 92.1 with the General and Mama Trees, and they do the reggae show on a Saturday between 5 and 7, and it's called Jam Down Version.
Right.
And so they play just strictly reggae and dancehall music.
Oh, fantastic.
So for people who are into that.
I've just noticed that you've got, what does this say?
This is my website.
Oh, look, djveeness.com. Did you design that?
Yes. Yes.
Wow, that's beautiful. Get a close-up, darling.
So, if you're interested in knowing where I'm heading to next, go to djveeness.com and you'll find out all that information.
Oh,
and it'll keep you posted on where my next gigs are.
So what an interesting guest we've had today. What an interesting personality. We've never had a DJ on before, have we? Mm-hmm. And I used to love things like that. I love that art. It is an art, actually. We go to Spain quite often because my brother lives in Spain, and we go to various discotheques there or nightclubs, and they have the old style, especially around the seaside towns. You know, with all what you're saying, the adding and the double turntable, and sometimes an extra turntable, and it's just, and you get all these things, and they just sort of mould in together, and you just kind of keep on dancing. Yeah. So thank you very much indeed, Vanessa, for coming.
Thank you very much for having me. I thoroughly enjoyed everything. And Lizzie's a great cook. I know you can only see it on TV, but I got the privilege to taste it, and it's pretty good.
and coming from Vanessa, whose parents are very good Indian cooks. She said to me how much she liked all the spice blends, so that's good.
Thumbs up.
So Vanessa has gone now, and we've had a wonderful, wonderful evening with her. Yes, we did it in the evening. You can see all the shadows and all the different lighting. So I hope you've enjoyed this show today. We had a lovely time having a masterclass in Stanley College. What a beautiful, beautiful twee stack with all the oranges and lemons, and of course all the spices in the twee. And then I made my lovely goujon of basa with the spiced flour and the tomato and onion and all the spices, just absolutely delicious. So I hope that you've enjoyed today, and I hope that you love me and love my food.
Love me, love my food. We're in the kitchen with Lizzie B. What is she cooking? Something yummy. Love me, love my food.
What's that say?
L.
Lizzie, yeah!
But Katie loves
loves
tomatoes. She takes them to school, the little strip.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
And I